So we're up at the start now for the Fawley Challenge Cup. It's a race for junior boys quadruple sculls, and on the far side we have the 4 lads from Hinksey Sculling School A crew. Famously put out Leander Club B by 3/4 of a length earlier in the regatta on Thursday. And on the right we have the familiar rowing suits, the pale blue rowing suits of Sydney Rowing Club, row down on the Parramatta River down there in Sydney. And they are a very, very strong crew, and I think Hinksey will find it difficult to compete against these 4 guys.
Yeah, Sydney Rowing Club looked so impressive when they beat Clare's Court yesterday. It was a great race. I think they won it by 3/4 of a length, and you know, that showed the quality of this event for the crew from Sydney. You know, Hinksey have got a lot of experience, and they're going to have to go early. So it's, you know, it's a brilliant community of scullers, of junior scullers that they're turning out each year. You know, what can they tap into to help them through this race?
So we're into live shots, and you can see on the left of your picture, if you're watching this in Australia, we hope you're enjoying this race. You should be, because your boys are out in front, but welcome to this presentation. On the left of your picture, it's Sydney Rowing Club. On the right, it's the 4 young men from Hinksey Sculling School, row on the Thames near Oxford, just near St Edward's School. And we saw St Edward's School win that heat of the Princess Elizabeth. Judah Turnbull, Wilfred Allison, Herbie Austin Baker and Adam Gillett. It's his first Henry, Adam. He's been competing since his J16 year. He's the Hinksey Club captain, and he's got a lot of work on his hands.
So we're seeing here the back of the bow, Nicholas Whalen from the Sydney Rowing Club crew, who's a semi-pro surfer competing in the 2020 Nationals as a finalist there, part-time lifeguard, living on the northern beaches in Sydney, Palm Beach, and a surf life-saving club member. So he'll be finding this very calm.
I'll tell you what, Kath, all these Sydney boys are surfers, and you know, they're going to be used to rough conditions. They're going to be, they won't mind a bit of wind. And Charles Hine in the 3-man, he basically said, you know, we're 4 childhood mates having a crack at Henley, and they've got a surf background. And it's interesting, a lot of the talent in the Australian rowing team, you do get them from surf rowing. And so this Sydney Rowing Club quad just illustrate that. And
perhaps the equivalent of coming almost through the waterman, sort of, you get that kind of skill on water, don't you? You get that sense of what it means to actually move with the water, to understand how to not fight the water but move with it. But that said, they're being asked some serious questions in the middle of the course now from that Hinksey Sculling School, who are really, really digging in to try and come back at them.
They've got a nice flow off the back end, Hinksey, I think, as they come through. I think Sydney look a little more sharp, a little more snappy on the front end. Perhaps the finish doesn't quite come out as long as it could in Sydney, but it's clean. I'll say that for them. They've got a length lead at the moment. A lot of work for Hinksey to do as we go past Upper Thames. What's there left now? About 700-800 metres, Kath?
Yeah, about that. You're right, there's more power, isn't there, in the Sydney crew? But I really find that, you know, if you look at the Hinksey, they're digging in, aren't they? They're sort of, you know, the effort is there. They need to stay relaxed now. They need to try and think about how they can be more efficient, perhaps, how they can stay a little sharper. This water can start to pull you apart when you're the crew behind. Then I think you feel how the imbalance is. Each wave that pushes you off, you feel it more. Whereas when you're out in front, look, you just surf over the top.
So Nick Whalen, red up in the bows. Jackson Gersay in the 2-seat with the shades on, the yellow shades. Charles Hine in 3, also with the shades on. In fact, they've all got shades on. They think they're in Australia. It's just really dark here. Maxine Maloney in the stroke seat. I just think young rowers, young oarsmen and women, they like shades. I think they look good in shades, but there isn't any sun here this afternoon.
Oh, sometimes it can help you sort of feel a bit of a focus, can't it, as well? It means you don't get any water splashed into your eyes or something. Sometimes it's just part of, put the shades on, I'm in the zone, off I go. And that Sydney crew have been in the zone from the start to the finish here, driving along, great steering, and you know, not fighting. They're just managing to be quite efficient, I think, in what they're doing. It's powerful, powerful, and they've definitely got a little bit more each stroke as we sit behind them there. A little bit more that's going in. As soon as the blades are in, they're on, and 4 powerful guys.
Yeah, I did think I saw Hinksey making a move there, which is going to please their coach, James McAnallen. And you can see that crew on the right. Sorry to get you on the edge of your seats if you're in Australia watching this in the middle of the night, but the wind is gusting at 24 to 26. We've just heard from our director. It's a really strong breeze out there. And there's Hinksey now. Look at that, and really nice release off the finish. Throwing in with those carbon fibre riggers, and I do think Hinksey are moving. They are digging in, and have Sydney done too much too early in this race?
They got a sniff.
We've got about 300 metres to go, 200 metres to go, and Sydney are hanging on. Hinksey have moved through, and they're coming slowly, metre by metre. The Oxford School are taking on the might of Sydney Rowing Club. I thought this was a done deal in the middle of the race. I apologise to Hinksey for that, but Hinksey move. They are coming up to the finish. Sydney move again. They're going close to the boom. Sydney. Oh, it's Hinksey. I think they're going to lead just across the line. The Oxford School, have they done it? They crossed the line. Yes, Hinksey. It's a famous victory ahead of Sydney Rowing Club. That is a sensational result, Kat.
Wow, something changed. The sharpness suddenly came, and they got a sniff that they were kind of attacking back. They could feel it, and when you get that momentum, you just get sharper and sharper and sharper, and suddenly they were flowing. Having been a little stodgy earlier on, a great turn of speed.
He's just found out, and the guy doesn't know who's won. He didn't know. That's the thing, you're so into process, you don't know the result. He's only just found out. Look at this finish, Kat.
They're absolutely on. Look at them, they're in treacle, but they are treacle in a look. He's hoping for the finish line. Bow's actually stopped. He's so desperate for the finish line. Amazing.
Well, they're going on to race Los Gatos, who beat Mile 08. Look at that. Did he catch a crab as they went across the finish line?
Almost, I think, yeah, stroke or so before.
That is a sensational camera work there. Sensational shot. Oh,
they gave absolutely everything, and look at that slap on the back that says it all. They will remember that race probably for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, it's got to be against Sydney.